Okay, so on Wednesday, we were doing these questions here for homework, and let's go through these now. So, we have a bunch of triangles, and remember we've got two rules, and the rules are that an isosceles triangle, which is a triangle with two equal sides, like this equal side and this equal side, they're the same length, and this one is the same length as this one, and this one is also the same length as this one. And now that we know that, we can figure out what the angles are. So, first of all, I'm going to figure out what this angle here is. I know that this is 105, and a straight line is 180. So 180 minus 105 is 75. 75 degrees. So that is 75 degrees. And then I know that if this is 75 degrees, this angle here and this angle here must, if we add this angle and we add this angle and this angle together, we must get 180. So I'll get 180, and the first thing I'll do is I'll take away 75, and that'll give me 105, like we just had. And now these angles C and this one here, which we don't have to find out, but this angle that I'm colouring in will be the same as this angle over here, this one here that I'm colouring in. So these two pinky red angles should be the same. So all I have to do is divide 105 by 2. And I'm going to get a decimal. 2 into 10 goes 5. 2 into 5 goes 2. Remainder 1. 2 into 10 goes 5. So it's 52.5. That's a tricky one because we haven't had decimals in a while in these sums. But if you got close to that, I'll be pretty happy. Now, here we have to figure out what D is, and we have to figure out what E is. So let's have a look. D is an isosceles triangle. So the first thing we do is we take away this angle here, 60. So we take 60 away from 180, and that gives us 120. And we'll also find out that this will be 120. And this angle here and this angle here, these two angles, they're both, when they add together, they will both add up to 120. So let's divide 120 by 2, and we'll get 60. So D must be 60. Because this is an isosceles triangle, this angle here, the D, and this angle here also will be 60. So actually, all three angles here are 60. Now, let's have a look at this question here. So we have 120 here. This is 120. So E, we want to find out what E is. And again, this is an isosceles triangle. So these two angles, this one and this one, E and this one up the top left, both of these must be the same. And we know that 180 take away 120 is 60. So all we do is we divide 60 by 2, which gives us 30. So this here must be 30, and this one here must be 30 degrees. Because if we add them all together, they have to be 180. So 30 plus 120 is 180. So E must be 30 degrees. So in this video, I just want you to work along with me, and we're going to do a few more sums. So if you'd like, you can pause the video now and have a go yourself at these, and then unpause the video once you've had a go, and we can do them together. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at these. Let's have a look at this question here, the one with P. Oh, sorry, I have to close that, and I just have to select that. There we go. So we want to find out what P is, so we have to find out what P is equal to. We have to find out what R is equal to, and we have to also find out what Q is equal to. Well, P, first of all, is not too bad, because we just take 180 degrees and we subtract 74 degrees, and that gives us 106 degrees. So that is 106 degrees, because P plus 74 has to equal 180, because that's a straight line. So P is 106 degrees. Now, we learned that the exterior angle, this one here, should be equal to the sum of, so if we add Q and we add R together, we should get 74. So the two opposite interior angles, that's Q and R, they added together, they should equal 74. Now, let's see, we know that this is an isosceles triangle because this side and this side are equal. So that means that Q and R must be equal. So all we do is we divide 74 by 2 to find out what half is. So 2 into 7 goes 3, remainder 1, and then 2 into 14 goes 7. So that's 37 degrees and 37 degrees. Because when we add 37 together, we get 74. So that's 37 degrees. And you can always check your answers by adding all the three angles of the triangle. So if we added P and Q and R together, we would get 180. So that's how you know you're right. Now let me change the color. We'll use a different color for this. Let's use a blue just like there. Okay. So now we have E, F, and D we want to find. So we'll write down D, E, and F. Let's find out what these are. Well, first of all, we can see that this is an isosceles triangle because this side and this side are equal in length. That means that the bottom two angles, this one and this one, must be equal. So we can add, or sorry, don't add, we can just say if this side here, let's call this side G. If G is 25 degrees, then D must also be 25 degrees. And we know that three angles added together, or three angles inside of a triangle added together, must be equal to 180. So if I add D and G, that's 25 plus 25, we get 50. So E must be the difference between 180 and 50, which is 130. So E must be 130 degrees. And D and G, both of these are the interior opposite angles to F. So if I add D and G, I get 50, don't I? So F must be 50 degrees. And I can check this because if F is 50 degrees, F and E added together must be 180. Let's check. F is 50, E is 130. 130 plus 50 is 180. So we got this correct. All right, let's try and do the next one. And I'll use a different color. Let's use a reddy color. Okay. Now, this one here is 90 degrees. All right. And we are given this angle here, and we're given that this is a 90-degree angle, and we are told that this side and this side are equal sides. So that means that that is an isosceles triangle. So that means that x and v must be the same. Okay? This is a tricky one. So if this is 90 degrees here, the other side of the triangle is also 90 degrees. And now we know that this angle is 90. This angle here is 31. So if we add 90 plus 31, we get 121, don't we? That's degrees. And V must be the difference between 180 degrees, 180 minus 121 degrees equals, what's that, 59 degrees. So V must be 59 degrees. Now, we know that this side, that I'm colouring in even more, this side and this side are equal, so it's an isosceles triangle. So V and X must be the same. So X is also 59 degrees. And if we want to find out what Y is the difference between 59 and 180, because Y and X together make up 180. So if X is 59, Y must be 121 degrees. Now, W is the last one we have to get. And we know that X is 59. We know that this is 59. And we know that this is 90. And 90 plus 59, 90 plus 59 is 149. So if I take 180 degrees and I subtract 149 degrees, I should find out what W is. And it is 31 degrees. So W is 31 degrees. 31 degrees. That one was really a hard one. Even I had to think about that for a second. That's why there was such a pause in the video. I'm sure you probably had a laugh at that. My Friday morning brain hasn't woken up yet. So well done if you got any of those right, because that was tricky. The first two are a little easier, but the third one was a little harder. Okay, let's have a look at our last set of sums for today. Again, I'd like it if you try to do these by yourself and take your time. Pause the video now, and then you can unpause it when you've had a go. So pause the video now and see how you get on. Okay, these are tricky. So let's have a look at question number 1. Okay, we draw, oh, sorry. I keep forgetting to change the writing. Okay, so let's extend these lines out a little bit, okay? Remember last week we learned that if this angle is 65 degrees, this angle here must also be 65 degrees. Yeah? And let's see that this angle here is opposite this angle here. So this angle is 65 degrees. So X is also opposite 65. So X is 65 degrees. that is much easier if you draw the line out. Okay, now let's draw this line out here, and we just extend the line. Imagine you got a ruler and you just extended the line. So we know that this is 65 degrees, and we know that this is 65 degrees, and so this is an isosceles triangle. Okay, so this is also 65 degrees because the bottom two angles are 65 degrees. So let's do 65 plus 65. That gives us 130 degrees. Now we subtract 130 from 80, or 180, and we get 50. So y must be 50 degrees. That was quite a tricky one, so well done if you got that right. Again, took me a moment when I was looking at it just to figure it out. Now the next sum, let's have a look at this. So we can extend a line out here, and we know that this is 110 here, so this is also 110 degrees. Now I know that from here to here is a straight line. So if this is 110 degrees here, where I'm coloring in, if this is 110 degrees, this must be 70 degrees, right? Because if we add 110 and 70, we get 180. So now we've already figured out what y is equal to 70 degrees. Now, this 70 degrees, okay, this is also going to be the same as this angle here, isn't it? Because if this is 110, this must also be 70. Because the added this and this together, you get 180. But this is an isosceles triangle. The two sides are equal, so this must also be 70 degrees. So 70 plus 70 is 140. Okay, 70 plus 70 is 140. Now take 140 away from 180 and you get 40. So this must be 40 degrees. So x is equal to 40 degrees. Now, here they're giving you a hint with this. I accidentally turned on the eraser. Here they're giving you a hint with these arrows. Parallel lines. So you draw parallel lines out like this. Now, we also draw these lines out like this, and this line out like this. If this is 50 degrees, then this is also 50 degrees. Yeah, is that okay? And the lines that I just drew are parallel with these lines up here. So if this is 50 degrees and this angle here is 50 degrees, that means that x is also 50 degrees and here would be 50 degrees. So x is equal to 50 degrees. Now, this is an isosceles triangle, so that side and that side are equal in length. That means that y and this angle here are the same. So if I know that 180 degrees is all the angles of a triangle, and I take away 50 degrees, and that's 130, aren't I? So y plus this angle here, so when I add y and this angle, it must be equal to 130. So if I divide 130 by 2 into 13 goes 6, remainder 1, and then 2 into 10 goes 5. So y must be 65, because this would be 65, and because this is an isosceles triangle, this would be 65. Okay, that's it for today. Those were some hard questions. It took me a moment just to remember how to do them, and I looked at them last night. So well done if you even got any of them, or even small parts of it right. Honestly, I think that you'd be unlikely to see questions this hard on the ordinary level paper, but you never know. And I know that you are doing really good work at home, so if you were able to get some of them, fair play to you, well done. Hopefully this video helped. We might have a live class on Monday. I know we were supposed to have one today. I apologize. I'm not able to do it today, but hopefully this video was enjoyable, as much as maths can be enjoyable. Anyway, have a great day.